What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I actually just spent the past 30 minutes recording the first take for this video, and then I accidentally deleted it. So, you know, my bad, but we're gonna have to just do it again. I'm super, super pumped, and I do not want to take this L. So, here I am. So, this story takes place literally a week after the first story that I told on this channel, which was 7.5 gram shroom trip. Now, should I have been taking this freaking drug literally a week after I had an ego genocide? No. But, I did not care about my well being at the time. So I did it. And I got a cool story out of it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So this story takes place on leap day or leap year, whatever you like to call it, February 29th, the extra day every 4 years in the year that we get. And I had a dream that I had an acid trip. And with me like being, so inclined to doing all sorts of drugs, I'm like, okay, that must be a sign, aka an excuse for me to drop some acid today. I don't know what day exactly it was, like what day of the week. I think it was like a Wednesday or something or a Thursday. I don't maybe it was a Friday. I'm pretty sure it was a Friday. I'll have to look it up. Um, but it was definitely a day I should have not been tripping. But I had nothing better to do and I decided I'm doing acid. So I start hitting up all my friends. No one really has anything. And then it hits me. There's this one friend who's notorious for his acid. And I'm like, why didn't I just hit him up first? Uh, Now, I met this guy at downtown. He would play his guitar just like me, but he was acoustic. He had a cowboy hat. He was dressed like a cowboy. He had long dreads and he wore glasses. And he was an Aztec who played country music. Like, what a guy, right? He already sounds like a character. But he was just always smoking weed, always smoking cigarettes. And he also did acid. So let's just call this guy Mark. I'm like, yo, Mark, do you have like the hookup tonight? He's like, for sure, bro, I got you. Now, Mark would drive literally 4+ hours to go get this acid. So it was some good stuff. It had a good reputation. Everyone that I talked to about this guy that knew him always brought up something about his acid. So, I'm like, okay, well, tonight is gonna be awesome. So I tell him, pull up at this time and this place at my hall or at my dorm where I was staying, and I'll be ready. Let's do it. He's like, bet. So 8 p.m., 9 o'clock rolls around. He pulls up to my place, and Erica is in his car. That's the girl that was in the last story that I tripped with. And fun fact, she's actually a drummer, and they were kind of like forming this little band that they had going on together. And uh, funny story, she actually would end up breaking out of his band like literally a week or two later because she went to some dude's house to play drums at his jam sesh, and Mark didn't like that, and he kind of called her out on it, and he called the house owner out on it. He's like, "Hey, why are you playing with my drummer? Like, she's my drummer. You can't have her." And she didn't like that, and she was shit talking him to me behind his back. And that was a red flag that I should not be hanging out with this girl because she talks shit behind her friends' backs. And I decided to ignore that red flag, and I would literally end up having the same thing happen to me, where there was literally false rumors being spread about me by this girl. So that's another story time for later. But anyway, Yeah. So she's in the car with him. She's like, "Oh, hey, Sebastian," you know, all flirty like and stuff. I'm like, yo, what's good? And I dap with my friend, and he hands it to me, and he looks me in the eye, and he's like, "Dude, be careful." And you know, at this time, I was kind of new to acid, like 6 months in, so I knew that there was dangers. Like I had a bad trip before, but I had more good trips. So I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. This is gonna be an awesome night. Like I'm gonna be good. So I take this acid upstairs, go in my dorm room. I had the whole room to myself because actually both semesters that year, my roommate had moved out, so I had literally the whole dorm to myself. And so I take it in my room, take my clothes off, pop it, go to the where the showers were, and I get in the shower, turn off all the lights, and I'm blasting the doors. And I'm just taking a shower with the lights off and dancing in the dark, listening to the doors, and I'm really feeling like a nice little, come up. And so I go back into my dorm room, I get dressed, and I start like combing my hair in this super complex way. And I have curly hair. Like I have mixed children hair. I have a black dad and a white mom. And I didn't get like the super coily black people hair. I got like the my hair is closer to like to white people hair. Like or sorry, it's closer to Mexican, Puerto Rican curly hair. Like I didn't get like the super frizzy, like it can get frizzy, but it's more like loose curls, like a 3C almost. And it's always been such a hassle to take care of. And I um I always just kind of like had struggles with my hair because I have a sister, but her hair is more like Zendaya's hair. Like it's kind of curly, but it's not that curly. And my hair is more like Corbin Blue from High School Musical. So it was just always a mess. I never had anyone to show me how to take care of my hair. So and I didn't always have like frizzy hair, but living in Texas with like the humidity and stuff, like I could never figure it out. So I'm in the mirror on this acid figuring out how to take care of my hair. And I just like instantly unlocked it, like the technique and the method. Did it take a long time? Yeah. But it's like when you're on acid, your brain is connecting new neural pathways that weren't connected before. And you just start like learning new stuff and thinking in ways that you never thought were possible. So I'm cracking the codes, figuring it out. And I get dressed, put the clothes on. I start rolling the blunt, and I'm like, I'm going outside. Why do I do that? And I'm thinking like, okay, I gotta find somewhere to smoke. And I'm like, okay, I can go on campus. It's like literally like 10 o'clock right now. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So I walk up this steep ass hill. I don't know if anyone of you has gone at Texas State, but on campus, like to get on campus, there's like one side of the campus where you have to go up a hill, and it's super steep, and like walking is just so sucky. And I did that, and I went to like some area where there were mirrors because I had just done my hair, and I'm a vain uh, piece of shit. So no, I'm not. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror because I look good. Like I had this really nice '90s sweater on. I had my hair going. I freshly shaven. Like I look good. So I'm in the mirror, lighting up this blunt, just blasting music on acid, just looking at myself. 15, 20 minutes go by. I'm having a good ass time. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I look so cool, gassing myself up. And then all of a sudden, I don't recognize myself anymore. I know that I'm standing in front of the mirror and everything that I would do in front of the mirror would match it. But I did not recognize who was looking back at me. And it wasn't like it was super grotesque or deformed. But no, no, no. It was like it was deformed, but not like in a way that you would think where it's like just a gross deformity. It was like an uncanny valley AI fake deformed. And so I walk away from the mirror, I back up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going home. So I turn around, I go back down the steep ass hill, back to my dorm. I walk onto the property. I'm on going up the stairs, and as soon as I take the last step to get up the stairs into the hall, I instantly feel reality turn on its head, and I am instantly tripping. I could feel like the trip hit me like a semi truck. And there was like this yellowish lighting around, like that you would kind of see in like, you know how like those um, movies that take place in Mexico have that yellow filter on? It was kind of like that, but at night. Like there was a yellow filter over the night. And it was as if I was in a horror movie, and I immediately felt like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. It was as if I was in like a lucid dream, or no, a lucid nightmare. Because like when you're dreaming and you start lucid dreaming, and oh, sorry, when you're dreaming, it's like it's real, but it's also not the same as reality. It's not quite the same. There's a different tone of reality that you're feeling, right? So I am feeling this dark, evil presence all around me, permeate everything around me, and I couldn't explain it. And I go inside, and instantly everything is just overstimulating me. My senses just start going off the charts, and oh man, I am really upset right now because um I really recorded this video, and I'm set up in my mom's office, so she has stuff going on and it's pissing me off. So I'm gonna edit this out. But yeah. Anyway, picking back up, I get into the building, my senses are overwhelming me. I live on the third floor and there's no elevator, so I have to walk up these stairs, and I feel like the fear is just permeating my body, just going in and out of me. It's just like a thick, evil, nasty fear. And I had felt psychedelic fear like this before on the shrooms, but now I was feeling it like on the acid. On the shrooms, it was more of a brute force kind of punch you in the face and the gut and all over. On shrooms, it was like on LSD, it's like being cut up by a samurai. It's like sharp fear. That fear is sharp. It's cutting you, and that arguably hurts more. And it was more scary than whatever I was going through on that trip a week ago. I get to the third floor. I look down the hallway. The hallway extends like I'm in The Shining. I look down. The hallway is not staying still. It is vibrant. It's moving. It's like I'm drunk, but it's not like I'm drunk at the same time. And I am absolutely freaking out. I'm having I am having a panic attack so hard. It feels as if my anxiety is just like shooting me with a shotgun from all directions. And I'm getting sliced up by fear like he's freaking Sasuke or something. And I'm just being destroyed by my thoughts, and my thoughts start becoming louder and disoriented, and I can't control them. and I just feel this evil presence that's scaring the shit out of me. And I'm having to walk down the hallway with my arm on the wall because I can't even stand up straight because I'm so high. And it's like, okay, you smoke a blunt, and it's like, for the first time, like, whoa, that's getting me pretty high. Like, everything is, it's like kind of psychedelic. This was easily 100 times stronger than that. Easily 100 times stronger than the first time smoking weed. Imagine your first time smoking weed and multiply it by 100. You would be freaking out too. So I eventually get to my dorm at the end of the hallway, mind you, the door right before the last one on the end of the hallway. Go inside, and for 10 seconds, I'm safe. The trip dies down. I'm like, whew, I made it, man. And then everything just picks back up and multiplies by two. And it's like I'm in a storm of psychedelic anxiety. My room is just not the place to be. But I cannot go outside because, like, I won't even be able to orient where I am. I will be disoriented. I will not be able to triangulate anything, any directions. I won't be able to judge distance, measure space, measure time. I am completely cooked. So the best thing that I can do right now is just sit in this room and wait the trip out. And so I sit down and I realize I messed up. I sit back and at my desk, and there is just this deep, dark, thick, evil presence that is ruminating over me, and kind of, it feels like it's just caressing me and making me so uncomfortable that I keep constantly turning around thinking I'm going to see some demon pop out behind me. And the anticipation just kills me. And I keep looking back, and I just don't see anything. And I eventually start remembering that I was saying Jim Morrison when I was in the mirror smoking that joint earlier. Like, he's coming to get me, dude. Jim Morrison's coming back from hell to get me, bro. And he's gonna take me there with the bro. No. And bro, guys, I cannot stress this enough. I dead ass thought that Jim Morrison would pop in my room at any moment and take me to hell, bro. Like, it was so insane how I really felt like he was coming to get me, bro. I really felt like he was 1, 2, Freddy's come for you. 3, 4, lock the door. Like, that was the vibe of the trip. Like, you could just imagine, like, being scared in a movie theater, or like watching a movie, a horror movie at night, and then multiply that by like 250, 300, 500, bro. Fuck it, 500. Like, dude, absolutely insane work. So, I call my best friend up, and I'm like, dude, I'm freaking out, dude. What do I do? And he literally, like, he would get me through like a couple of bad trips that I had before but he was with me. He wasn't with me this time. I was alone. So his advice to just put on some good music and try to stay calm did not work. And I had this, like, feeling that I was gonna die, and my heart was vibrating super fast like it does when you're like on weed and stuff. And I hate that feeling when I'm smoking weed. Imagine on acid and you have a demon in your room, and you just, man, it wasn't one, it was multiple, bro. A whole legion, it felt like, bro. Like, just such a thick evil presence. I was an agnostic at this time, but I knew there was a freaking demon in my room, dude. Like, I had no doubt. And all of a sudden, I feel this this liquid running down my face, from at the start of my top of my head down my face. And I touch my forehead, I dap my face around, and there's no liquid, there's no moisture. And then I feel the dripping go down my neck, the back of my neck, and down my spine. And I'm like, dude, my fucking brain is melting. Like, I feel my brain melting. My thoughts are going up a million miles per hour. I am not And yeah, I am not on Earth right now. I am in some different world. This is melting my fucking brain right now. I am literally feeling my spinal fluid melt down my spine. That, ladies and gentlemen, just sent the trip into overdrive. Imagine just driving this sports car and you just hit the nitro and you're already going 100 miles per hour. You're speeding down the down the track, and then you just hit the nitro and you're boosted. That sent me into overdrive because I was like, I am not coming back from this. Like, there's no way that I can recover from this. So I have no choice but to call someone to help me. And the only person I could think of was my stepdad. So I dial up the phone, I get him on the phone, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?" And I tell him what happened, that I had taken this acid and I did not listen to his warning and I messed up and I don't know what to do and I'm freaking out. And he's like, he's just being super understandable about it. And if it wasn't for him, shout out to my stepdad. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have had to go through that trip just like on some BS. Like it just would have been it just would have been even worse. So he tells me to just start drawing, and that should help with it because he used to do the same things, and he also went through similar experiences. So he was speaking from experience. So I start drawing, and my hand starts doing this like automatic writing thing where I can't even control it. Like I'm just like my hand is writing by itself, and I'm drawing these like super creepy drawings. I don't know if you guys ever seen like the Basquiat paintings, but it kind of looked like that. It was like of the same vein. You could just only imagine. So, we just start like conversating, and it's kind of taking my mind off the trip, but I could still literally feel like my brain melting. And then I wasn't just feeling it in my head, but I could feel like the droplets going down my like other parts of my body, like my chest and my arms and stuff. And I was looking at my skin, like trying to rub it, see if there's like wetness on the surface. It was nothing. So I'm like, dude, it's like I'm melting on the inside. I'm melting on the inside. No. And that was weird. But eventually, as we're nearing the end of our like 20-minute conversation, he tells me to put on some music and that I should listen to The Wall by Pink Floyd. Now, I didn't listen to Pink Floyd much before this, but I knew that they were associated with psychedelics at the very least. And I'm like, okay, well, if the advice is coming from him, I'm gonna listen to it because at this point, I don't even I barely know who I am right now. So yeah, let's do that. Probably one of the worst mistakes of my life, honestly, because putting that album on only freaked me out even more. It was just something about the ambience of the album, and it was made in the 1960s or 70s. It had this like haunted, cursed feeling about it, and I did not mess with that, dude. I was not messing with that. And the thing is, like, I heard stories about Sid Barrett, who's like the front man of that band, and he there's like notorious stories of him going on a trip and never coming back. Like, of course, he never like left this world. I think he might still be alive today. I hope so, but he like lost his. He came back and he was never the same. He was like a different person, and that's honestly scary. Like to lose everything that you are in one night, and it's just like you're a vegetable or something like that. And that's kind of the state that he was put in, and he just got his whole personality and everything that made him ripped away from him, and just lost in a trip and never to return. And he was probably just replaced by some entity or something. Like he just like the demons had legal rights to just hijack his body, and that he got snatched away and dragged off into the LSD realm, and they just replaced him with some demon dude to like live in his body and pretend to be him. That would be freaking scary. But you could just imagine, like, if I'm having thoughts like that when I'm sober, what are my thoughts like when I'm tripping? Like, it's just like that on steroids. Anyway, I eventually have to turn this album off because I'm not feeling it. It's creeping me out. Drawing is not helping. It was helping for a second, but it's just like this trip is so potent that you can compare it to being in an ocean in the middle of the storm, and you got to like a calm spot, but there's just waves and rain and thunder and lightning and sharks and fear and anxiety just swirling around you, and it's just impossible to get away from. So I literally just had to wait it out. And I would say about an hour later, I'm finally like starting to come back to my sense of reality, like a safe sense of reality. And you know, every bad trip that I've ever had, the come down where the peak just ends and it's the descend is always blissful, and it's what I wanted the trip to be. But obviously, that's not what they have in plan or store for me. So the come down is hitting. I'm feeling amazing. And I just start calling up people. I called like probably like five of my friends that night. And I usually only ever would FaceTime like one or two of my friends, maybe like three or four of them. And then the rest I would text them and stuff. But I was just FaceTiming everyone and just talking on the phone. I just had a really talkative energy about me. And, you know, I just chopped it up with some friends, and then after that I started playing guitar, and I actually made some pretty uh well I made one pretty cool track that I'm actually gonna show at the end of this video for those of you guys who want to see it, because I think it's pretty cool and pretty interesting, you know, to think out of the box like that. And it was just a crazy time altogether, and you know, I really couldn't even sleep that night, so I had to stay up like the whole night. But I was feeling the come down for like the next 12 hours, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's the story. So moral of the story: don't do drugs, don't do acid, don't do shrooms, because they're dangerous. And I would go as far as saying don't smoke weed. Like, don't make a habit of smoking weed. Like, I think, like, in a ritualistic sense, these kind of things, I guess they, you know, they could be fun, but once they like become habits, they ruin your life, and they suck the life out of life, if that makes sense. So, you know, just be advised, try to stay away from that stuff. Especially don't ever mix weed with acid. You will get blown away unless you're experienced and you just don't care. I mean, just go ahead and do it. Like, you can't say I didn't warn you. But yeah, here's that video. I'm gonna play it, and my dumbass is not gonna hit the delete button like I did last time. So yeah, have a good one. I can't change. Somebody cut me breathing back. Somebody cut me breathing back.